everybody, it's Ann Kaplan from Mommy, your mama resource from conception to college. Wherever you are in your momming journey, we are here for you. And this week we're talking about work-life balance, that elusive, possibly non-existent thing that we're all striving for in our lives, especially if we are working and trying to have a life, even if we don't have kids, and working and trying to have a life when part of your life is being a mom is even more challenging. And Wednesday is my baby mama day. I'm talking to you guys who are pregnant and planning what to do with your career after you have your baby or during your pregnancy even. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on there. So first of all, during your pregnancy, you might notice that work becomes a little bit more trying for you. Even if you have a pretty chill job where you're sitting, relaxing, and while you're working and stuff like that, it gets hard. It is hard to sit for a long amount of time. It is hard to have to be on and in demand for 8 consecutive hours or however many hours you're working. It's hard. It's hard even when you're not pregnant. And when you are pregnant, those little things that you're capable of putting up with become less and less tolerable. Am I right? I know I'm right because I've experienced it myself. So I'm going to tell you guys, with all 4 of my pregnancies, as my pregnancy got further and further along, sitting down for more than about 30 minutes at a time became excruciating for me. Not just because it was uncomfortable and I had a back pain and stuff like that, but also, believe it or not, sitting down caused me to have contractions. And with my first 2 kids, I had a really long commute even to get to work. So by the time I was like halfway through my 3rd trimester, just during my commute to work, I would be having contractions like every 5 or 10 minutes the whole way to work. And then I'd have to sit at my desk and have contractions all day long. And guess what, you guys? I never thought I was going to be the kind of person who went on maternity leave months before my due date, but I did. I did it all 4 times because I had no choice. So that brings me to a couple of tips for you guys. First of all, don't sit down for long periods of time, okay? If you have a sedentary job, get up and move about. Even set an alarm on your phone and like every 20 minutes, just get up, do a lap, go get some water, fill up your water cup, chat with somebody, say hello, even just stand up and do a few stretches next to your desk or something, because sitting for long periods of time is no good for anybody, but especially when you're pregnant, okay? So, and then other things about dealing with working while you're pregnant, I would say eat regularly throughout your day, make sure you're staying hydrated. And the overall message today, whether you're talking about maternity leave, whether you're talking about coping with pregnancy at work, is listen to your body, you guys. So I had to listen to my body and recognize that working was not going to work for me unless I could get like a stand-up desk and a stand-up car to drive to work. I couldn't do it. And I had to accept that and understand my limitations there. Okay, so listening to your body. If work isn't working for you, you know that your baby and your health are more important than anything else, and you might have to change your plan. Okay, so listening to your body. And now let's talk about maternity leave. When should you go on maternity leave? How long should you stay off of work? What are you going to do when you go back to work? All of those things are big, big, big questions, and no one can answer them all the way but you. But the things I would love to encourage you to think about are, first of all, listening to your body like we just talked about. Like you can have all the wonderful plans in your mind about staying working until the very end, but if your body's not on board, you're going to have to quit. I have a mama right now who went from planning to work until the end of her pregnancy to being on bed rest at 34 weeks. So, you know, life sends us curveballs, whether it's while we're pregnant, while we're trying to get pregnant, while we're in labor, while we're raising our kids. Like, we're just not in control anymore, right? So that's my first tip to you guys when it comes to making your maternity plans. Like, listen to your body and be realistic, okay? The second thing when it comes to deciding about how much time to take off of work is know your rights. So your rights under the Family Medical Leave Act are that if you work for a company with more than 50 employees, you are mandatorily, if you live in the United States, owed at least 6 weeks of unpaid maternity leave. Now, it is making me want to vomit a little bit in my mouth telling you that law because it's horribly atrocious and way, way, way less than what we need as parents. But at a minimum, you need to know that you have those rights. I live in Spain right now, and I can tell you that the maternity laws here are so different than that. It's out of control. And we could go on a whole sidebar talking about whether or not Americans really do support family values when they're putting that kind of pressure on moms. But I won't go there today because it's a rabbit hole, guys. But my point is, know your rights. Stand up for yourself. And if I could go back in time when I was advocating for myself at the company I used to work for, which had less than 50 employees, which means they can just do whatever they want and make up whatever policy they want when it comes to maternity leave. If I could go back in time and do one thing, it would have been to approach my maternity leave with confidence and self-advocacy instead of this kind of meager mindset of, is it okay if I take 8 weeks? And you have absolute rights about what you need, what your baby needs, and what you need to be able to actually come back to work with your head on your shoulders correctly. So taking 6 weeks is probably not enough. I mean, I'm really being honest with you guys. You know, if your company doesn't offer you that, but you feel like you need more, stand up for yourself. And no matter how that conversation goes down, have it from a place of empowerment and self-trust and confidence, because you are worth way more than most companies choose to give their employees. And then also knowing that 6 weeks is a really short amount of time when it comes to recovery. And also, you know, there's a thing that we talk about in the birth world, which is the 4th trimester. Those first 3 months after you have your baby, you guys are basically one unit. You're still separating and figuring things out. And 6 weeks, I can tell you, was when I basically had my wits together enough to look in the mirror and realize what a shit show I was, not even able to do anything about it yet. So be realistic, understand your rights, and advocate for yourself when it comes to work. And above all, what do I always say in this group? Listen to your body. Work-life balance is a really tricky thing, and it starts right now. It starts while you're pregnant. You can do it. If you feel like you can't do it, reach out to me. I will talk with you. I'm happy to help you brainstorm on solutions to your problems, because the solution can never be that you just hate your life and you're marginalizing yourself. That's not how it's going to go down. Not in this group, guys. Love you guys. Speaking of work-life balance, I've got a baby boy who just woke up from his nap, so I'm going to say goodbye. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow some more. Bye.